Family Enhancement Center mission is the prevention and treatment of child abuse. And in addition to that, we have in-house programs where people come in for psychotherapy and have an experience with experts in the field who can help them and their children recover from child abuse. So many of our programs are what's considered parenting and family development, which means that we're going into people's homes usually, working directly with them and their kids, trying to help them figure out the way that they can best support their children's development and avoid abuse. All of our staff are experts in providing services to children who've experienced trauma and families that are struggling with the aftermath of abuse.
My name is Kathy Ritlin, and I have a daughter who's 6. And at 3 years old, she was supposed to go out to Idaho to visit her father for 6 weeks in the summertime. And she came back, and I remember the evening that I picked her up at the airport, there was something different about her. There just was something different about her. And I remember going into her room early in the morning and waking up and just being so happy that she was home. And I remember kissing her face and, kissing her tummy, and all of a sudden she looked at me and she put her hand down in her private area and asked me to kiss her there. And I just looked at her and said, "Honey, who would do that?" I'm like, "That's just silliness." And she looked at me with just the most innocent but almost kind of scared look on her face and just said, "My daddy kisses me there."
Lyndon is our second child. We got really lucky with our first. She's 6 years old now. Lyndon's 4. She has always been very obedient, and that kind of instilled the false idea in me and my wife's mind, that specifically me, that all children are supposed to be this way. And Lyndon specifically, timeout has really not working very well. And so that's where really frustration sets in.
An 11-year-old girl who had a really horrible story, sexual abuse. She presented to us with a lot of behavioral problems. She had attachment issues, and she was really volatile, and she presented kind of as a child that's a little harder to care for, that a lot of people have difficulty with. But I really connected with her, and I really, I saw the little girl that was stuck inside kind of all the rough things that she was going through, because as a child, I was sexually victimized.
One of the difficulties that we face as an agency is that people don't want to talk about abuse. People don't want to think about abuse, and it can be something that is so uncomfortable that our impulse is to just run away and ignore it and pretend it's not happening. Our children aren't going to be protected if we keep doing that. We have to take a stand, and we have to say we're not going to accept this anymore. We're not going to just let this happen. We're going to do whatever it takes to support families and help children so that they don't have to continue to experience abuse.
Sean's been working with me on a weekly basis for a period about 3 months. He's been very instrumental in terms of analyzing specific situations for me. The suggestion that he gave me was really enlightening to me. So he said, sometimes the 4 or 5 year old is really struggling expressing themselves or explaining themselves. One of the very effective way that he suggests is to have a game with them. I was so pumped up after that worked. I couldn't thank Sean enough, passing that trick or methodology to us. There's no way we could come up with something like that.
I learned so much from her, and but the success was that at the end of our time together, she had gone from being a child who couldn't stand to have any kind of interaction with people or stay in a room with her peers, to a child who was showing empathy and caring for herself and caring for others. And I know the things that happened to her will always be with her, but she has turned into this strong, powerful girl. And it's her doing because of her own drive to survive and the work she put into it, as well as her family.
Libby had said to me, I think Mom needs help, and I certainly needed some help. And she invited us to be part of this group that meets on Wednesday evenings, and it was the best thing in the whole world for me. And it felt like home.
I often think that, in some ways we can get bombarded with need. We can get bombarded with pleas for us to share our finances or to share our time. But it isn't always that we get to connect with the real product, the real deal. And that's what I love about the Family Enhancement Center. It allows me to make a direct connection with a situation that makes me feel it's worthwhile to give. And that would be my encouragement. Give to something you know. Give to something you can be a part of. Give to something so when you lay your head down at night, you know it made a difference, even if it was a bit of a difference.